1980's young Johnson. Says I fell a shipmates, I'll bid you all adieu. No more to see will I come along with you, but I'll travel the country through and through, and I'll be a rambling sailor. As I was walking one fine day along the London River, a pretty little fair maid I chanced to spy. We cruised along together. Her cheeks they were like the roses red, she'd a feathery bonnet upon her head. I put the hard on her, but she said she was a maid, that saucy little trembling doxy. I shan't and I can't and I won't go with you, you saucy rambling sailor. Your parents' name would it not consent, and promise to a tailor. I was upshot eager to ride for the chance, again she sent for her rolling arms, when the deal was done, and we went upstairs, myself and the trembling doxy. It was all at the bowling that the state so small, and yard after yard on bonding. The shop so gone and the sleep by four, and sudden she fell to robbing. She robbed me pockets of all I had, she stole me boots from the end of me bed, and she even put the watch from under me head, that saucy little trembling doxy. When I awoke and I found her gone, I started to roar like thunder. The old watch had me money too, she's gone away for plunder. But it ain't for me watch nor me money too, for them I don't tell you, but I'll tell you the truth. I feel a little fire got me burning off the glue, that saucy little trembling doxy.
running order was worked out. Firstly, it was done at random, just pulled out of the bag. We then found that there were about 7 or 8 people who had entered on Saturday, and somehow the machinery of Sidmouth information has lost those entries. But being more flexible than certain other dance competitions around, we decided the reason I talk about the order is that we have Dave Roberts here now, also dancing Knuckle Down, after the style of Hamster. The dance, the Osselbury Lad.
and gentlemen often danced to mark occasions in the Morris, and it's a pleasure for me to dance here today, the first time this jig competition is held in memory of John Gatton. He was a character, a character who really typified enjoyment and pleasure in the Morris. And I can remember very early on my introduction to John, dancing outside the Mason's Arms, endlessly dancing outside the Mason's Arms with anyone who would join in. He called this jig, a jig to this tune, I might add. I'm not going to dance the same style as John. The tune Nutting Girl. There was no musician. He needed someone to sing for it. I've never forgotten the jig, and I'll never forget John. Now, no jig is done as a solo item. You always have to have a musician. My musician here is Dave Hubbard. It is a team event. It's well to remember that. Thank you very much.
Pudding and pieces of pie, me mother she gave me for telling a lie. She gave me so much, I fear I shall die from lumps, pudding and pieces of pie.
okay to have your legs apart.
It's never paid before.
Right. It'll be the first time. Now, in case our two assistants here are not too keen on the idea, could we have a little bit of help to retain them in position? Not me. I know the way you kind of turn in with the rope. We did think of a blindfold, but we like the look of panic on their faces. Blindfold dancer! Right, here we are.
We're done your reading now.
Okay, now, this is a dance that John used to do. Unfortunately, I don't know it. But we felt it was only right to attempt it, despite the gammy leg. But during this dance, which isn't normally done with people,
Better and better.
after the last time, I shall attempt to dance round and over these two gentlemen who, well, just who will have to brace themselves. So they've chosen Miss Billy Upton as being by far the most senior of the judges.
I've never done this sort of thing before. I find it very difficult, actually. I think we all found it very difficult because we felt that generally the standard of dancing was very close, it was very much on a level. But we did feel, although there was a generally high standard of dancing, there were a few people who were quite outstanding. I think we all agree with that. We actually, when we came to decide on the, we didn't know whether we were supposed to give the first three, and we decided we would. Then we found out that we didn't need to. So that was a waste of time. But we're still going to. Yes, we felt that I think some of the dancers, I think quite a lot of the dancers need to listen to the music. There was a tendency, sometimes, in fact, fairly often, the dancers not actually to dance in time with the music, which seemed fairly surprising to me. But not only the dancers need to listen to the music, a lot of the musicians, I think almost all the musicians, need to think more about how they're playing. There's a lot of people who are playing the tune perfectly fine, and they're playing the tune exactly right, except for the fact that they weren't playing for the music to be danced to. I really felt that very strongly. You've really got to play. I think for Morris, in fact, any sort of dancing, the music must be really quite punchy. Not just punchy. The music should lift the dancer. So I feel that all the musicians who've been playing this afternoon perhaps ought to go to Alan Weir's workshop this afternoon. Yes, he's going. I'm not making a joke about that, but I mean, Alan's got some very strong ideas of how music should be played for dancing, for Morris. And I'm sure, even if he ducted for occasional lapses in posture, so that's him out of the way. But we thought, the third, I think the first two, we were quite convinced about who was the first two. but we weren't so sure about in which order they should go. There were a lot of people who were third, but we felt pushed to make someone third, and we made Beth Neal third. We were quite a while because we were talking about the first two, and there was some division amongst us as to which order these two should come into. But well, we decided that in second place was Steve Jordan. The first three, in fact, was not just the dancing, but was the music as well. I think the music in each case was really, really good. So that was Alan Weir playing for Beth. Dave Williams was playing for Steve. But first place, this was I think it was done purely on dancing ability and on music ability, and there was no emotive thoughts in it. But we put first Andrew Jones.
Trophies to keep.
Well done.
Well done, Andrew, well done, Steve. Well done, all of the contenders. Can we round of applause for our judges as well? Not an easy job. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to introduce you to Roger Watson, Tim Edwards, and Austin. I'm Roger. We're also going to present the judges of this topic.